You're in a high-energy endeavor, Crazy Jake. You must eat a handful of gorp every 30 minutes. No energy, no mileage. When your body adjusts, you can live on raisins and rainwater. Right now, you have the Sierras in front of you, and you need power, and your mind has to be right. And it's all connected with energy. Well, hello there, traveler. Why don't you sit down and have a satiating handful of gorp? Today's tale is another Something Awful saga. Another goon failure so delicious, it's almost as irresistible as this mouth-watering gorp. The year is 2015. Our protagonist this time is Something Awful user Muerte. I recently decided that I was unhappy at my job, so like any sane person, I put a 30-day notice and decided I would walk across America from LA to Daytona Beach, Florida. Part of my trip is for personal reasons. I want to find who I am as a person and what truly makes me happy in life. Another big reason of doing this trip is I want to raise awareness for mental health illness. I've received support from my entire family and friends, and even strangers that just happened to see my page shared on Facebook, and donated to my cause. So far, I've raised $2,300 in a little over 4 days. So his plan is to walk about 2,500 miles from LA to Daytona, covering about 15 to 20 miles per day, living in the wilderness and quote-unquote stealth camping for months, documenting it on social media to raise awareness for mental health illness. The trip is being funded by donations from social media followers, because I guess people giving you thousands of dollars to go hiking is donations if it's to raise awareness about mental health. What do you think led you down the road to being a failure in life? My depression and anxiety. Did you try drinking? That really helped me. Will he survive the journey? Will he take up substance abuse instead? Will he have a series of gorp-fueled spiritual visions in the desert? Stay tuned to find out. Strange attempts to set up a tent, extended director's cut will be on Patreon soon. And now, a word from this video's sponsor, Aura. You ever heard of these nefarious creeps called data brokers? Well, they sure have heard of you. They've got detailed profiles with your phone number, email addresses, home address, even super specific stuff like who your relatives are and how often you see them. And they make billions selling that information to even more nefarious creeps who want to sell you stuff or scam you, or in extreme cases even steal your identity. And at this point, pretty much every service you use is collecting your data. It can feel like the only way to opt out is to throw your phone into the nearest body of water. But hold on just a moment, okay? Because there are other ways to protect your information. Aura identifies data brokers that are selling your information and automatically removes it from their sites every time it pops up somewhere. There are plenty of other services which offer this feature, but the reason why I like Aura is the whole comprehensive bundle of online security features that they offer, so you know that all of your bases are covered through one service at one affordable price. Aura includes a secure VPN, an antivirus password manager, they'll send you alerts if your personal data is found on the dark web, they offer real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, and if anything does happen, Aura includes $5 million in identity theft insurance. You can try Aura for free for 14 days if you click my beautiful link in the description down below, aura.com/strangeeons. In those 2 weeks, Aura will get to work scrubbing your personal data information off of these broker sites, and so much more. So thank you to Aura again for sponsoring this video, and now, back to your regularly scheduled gorp time. I have many reasons for doing this trip. My entire life, I've never known what I wanted to do. I've never been passionate about anything. After working numerous jobs and quitting after a year or two of being bored or not satisfied with the work I was doing, I've come to a point in my life where I want to do something meaningful. There isn't a particular message I want to spread, but I want to encourage people who have struggled with any form of mental illness or attempted suicide to feel comfortable talking about it. Something that took me 7 years to do. He says that he's trying to set up a partnership with a mental health organization. Any of them will do, really, even the boring ones. He also says that when he was depressed, leaving his house, getting up and doing anything were incredibly difficult. So in his mind, he's inspiring others by showing them that you can get up and achieve something and live life and have an adventure. It's a nice narrative, I guess, but nobody really buys that he's doing this for other people. People ask him, well, if it's all about charity and helping others, then Why not just volunteer? Why not raise money for a charity instead of raising money for you to go on a hike? You see what I mean? This whole thing smacks of white boy ego already. Would you expand on this a little? Are you expecting to have some kind of heat stroke epiphany about yourself and return home to a suddenly more fulfilling existence? I've never had time to think about what I want to do or what kind of job I want. I've always taken the highest paying job I can find and worked it to support the lifestyle I wanted at the time. I want to slow my life down a bit, stop working 60 to 70 hour weeks, and enjoy life a bit. If I don't figure everything out over the next few months, so be it. I'll still have experienced something very few people have, and I'll have a story to tell my children. I would much rather have a story to tell than saying I worked in a cubicle for 40 years. Very much like the Samadhi Village guy, he wants to free himself from societal expectations, disconnect, get back to nature, do something meaningful, become cool by having experiences. What does that really mean? I don't know, but it sounds good. It sounds inspiring, right? He'll probably get a bunch of social media followers and attention too, because that for sure always helps people discover the best versions of themselves. But I digress. So, the end point of his journey has to be Florida, because apparently he will be taking over his dad's business once he arrives in Florida. This is his planned route from LA to Florida. Now, I forgive you if you don't know much about American geography. You don't need to. However, Muerte's fellow Americans took one look at this map and said, "Oh my god, I think you're going to perish." Basically, it's a lot of highways. It's nothing but highways out there. And people who try to walk along these highways die a lot because they get hit by these huge transport trucks that have terrible visibility and don't expect to encounter pedestrians. It's insanely dangerous, and not just because of the trucks. The heat stroke will probably get you before the trucks do, to be honest. He's planning to do this during the hottest months in the hottest states. This is desert America. There is huge expanses where there's zero shade, there's no civilization. You are going to fry like an egg on the pavement out there. It's not even scenic. Like, you're telling me you want to die here? I'm from the Texas Panhandle, and Jesus Christ, you do not want to hike across it. We have some scenic canyons and shit, but people visit those specific canyons. Going straight across is fucking god-awful, unending miles at 110 degrees, a cruel and cloudless sky beating down on you while the wind blasts you at dozens of miles per hour on a good day. And yes, you can go weeks without seeing a substantial cloud. We couldn't handle permanent settlement out here until the fucking 1910s. Even driving across it in summer and getting out to piss or refuel is misery. There's also the problem of camping in this. When we tried camping in a Texan field, 4 police cars pulled up and told us to leave or the landowner would shoot us. Is all of that space owned by crazy fucks with itchy trigger fingers or something? People start urging him to take an alternative route. The American Discovery Trail, for example. It takes you through much more beautiful parts of the country in cooler climates. It is an established, safe trail for hiking and biking. People tell him, listen man, struggling with your mental health, looking for a way out of your life desperately, that sucks. That's really hard. But you are planning to do something that is going to hurt you. You were planning to make it worse. So please consider doing something else. As someone who is in the same boat, sad brains and anxiety-wise, you should think on this, like, at least a year. Those ideas you have when you're looking for an alternative to a shotgun are almost universally bad. A 3,000-mile hike may well change you and gives you some good perspective, but at the end of the day, it's not gonna fix you. Muerte says he understands that mental illness is something he's going to have to live with his entire life and not something that has to be fixed. He says, sitting behind a desk all day and driving a BMW, living in an overpriced apartment is not appealing to me anymore. Being out in nature and meeting people is what interests me at this point in my life. I have many reasons for going on this trip, but fixing my depression anxiety isn't, yeah, okay, but you're still doubling down. You're still very much doubling down. They're trying to give him real advice, and he is just laying on the platitudes and the stock inspirational phrases about getting out there and connecting to nature and finding out the layers. You peel back the layers of this onion, and it's just more Pinterest-inspiring quotes on sunset background forever. He assures everyone that this is an awesome idea, and he totally knows what he's doing. And also, he's 6'3" and in shape, so like, what could possibly go wrong? He's apparently taken a lot of inspiration from the story of someone called Hobo Nick. That's his personal icon.
Nick Kleckner has walked from one coast to the other, from Florida to California. But the man known as Hobo Nick is not doing this for any cause, attention, or glory. To him, it's an inner challenge.
I sort of needed to get away and have an outlet to, I guess, do a little bit of soul searching. And
the point is, he really romanticizes the whole walking across America narrative. And I kind of get it. It's an easy narrative to romanticize. Saying goodbye to your overpriced apartment in BMW and stepping outside the norms and doing something rebellious, doing something nobody else does. But crucially, the reality the reality of what he is planning is frying like an egg on the side of a Texas highway. So, every city and state in the USA is full of white trash, dirty cops, crime, Applebee's, nouveau riche, crumbling infrastructure, shitty sports fans, sprawl, and furries. Okay, alright, okay, alright. Muerte posts some pictures of the gear he is packing. Most notable element of it being this, like, baby stroller bike attachment thing that he plans to use to carry everything. None of the regions you are traveling through have any bears. Is that huge fuck-off can of mace for use on people? I was thinking alligators maybe, but second eyelid and all. Since you are walking, I'm going to take a guess and say you are going to be tired of pushing/pulling that rickety cart after about a week. I'm sure you feel pressure to do the hike from the people who give you money, so I'd recommend at least changing routes to the American Discovery Trail or ideally attempt a portion of the AT or PCT. That way you can say you hiked something rather than giving up a week into your current highway death march you've got laid out. I don't have visions of it being a romantic journey. I know what's in store for me. I know I'll be starving and thirsty and hot and tired and get blisters and be in pain. I couldn't be more ready to go. I don't know, man, that kind of sounds like you're romanticizing it. While hiking the AT, PCT, whatever more scenic established trails would be great fun, I want to hike an unconventional route. Not to be a jerk, but you sound pretty ignorant and careless. What's the longest hike you've ever done? In response to this, he posts an old photo of some people, it looks like in the 1800s, traveling in a horse cart, which I assume is meant to make the point that, like, if these old-timey idiot losers could do it, then surely he can with modern camping gear and internet. Muerte, did they not force you to play Oregon Trail in middle school? Do you not shiver at the sight of the cart the way some of us do? This isn't wild. You're not Reese Witherspoon, and there is no life-affirming epiphany coming your way as you walk through fucking Albuquerque. At this point, he finally changes his mind about the horrible highway death hike, and changes his plan so that his route will follow mostly along the American Discovery Trail, plus a little scoot down to Florida at the end there. You'll be dead before you get to Colorado. My bet would be Nevada, but western Utah might also kill him. My favorite part is where he instantly shifts from an I-40 death march to a trip up the American Discovery Trail without ever acknowledging that his original idea would have almost certainly killed him. Seriously, guys, I know my old plan meant certain death, but I made this one adjustment to it, and now I'm set to go. Anyone who's concerned is just not ready to truly live life. When asked about his food plans, and whether he's bringing a camping stove, Muerte responds that he's not bringing a camping stove. Why would he possibly need that? He's going to pack quote-unquote dried food, which could mean so many things. He's just gonna fill up his bag with dried food and restock every time he hits a city. Who needs a stove? He says he doesn't even use a stove when he lives in a house. I've survived until the age of 26 and have never cooked a single thing on a stove. Actually, I have cooked macaroni before. Stop acting like a dipshit. I can pick up a stove at any point if I decide I want one. Now, I don't mean to be thread-shitting, but if that is how far your level of personal development has come in 26 years, then I'm sure you could think of a few ways to better yourself before jumping to the nuclear option. It's not about knowing how to cook. It's about I'm a very picky eater and have literally lived on pizzas, hamburgers, hot wings, and chips my entire life. I'm sure you think I'm exaggerating, but the people who know me would attest to this statement. You're just proving his point. I'm not proving his point at all. That is the only cooked food I eat. Everything else is dried. Everyone seems to have the impression that I think this is going to be a stroll in the park and I'm just gonna have a smile on my face the entire time. I am doing this for a cause I believe in and I am really motivated about it. Will I get discouraged and want to quit? I'm sure I will, but I'm challenging myself. If other people can do it, so can I. Some of you are happy doing your daily grind of life. I've been doing that, and it's time to try something new. Each day I'm on that trail, no matter how bad, will be better than sitting in a cubicle answering emails, wasting my life behind a desk. I love this quote. I love that it was posted without any hint of shame. I love this thread. I love life. When asked what he will be doing for personal protection, besides the mace, Muerte reveals that he will be bringing a fake gun, which, quote-unquote, looks just like a real gun. And if he gets robbed anyway, he'll just get some new gear. Who cares? People get robbed every day. Still better than writing emails, am I right, gang? He is informed that carrying a fake gun is super illegal. It's still super illegal and will be treated like a real gun by law enforcement. And he says that's not true, even though it is true. It's true. Well, does he say that? Okay, what? Let's try and decipher what does he say. Where did you get this idea I will be searched? Also, where did you get your legal advice? I can tell you right now, it is incorrect. Is it illegal to draw it out in public? Yes, I'm sure. But if my life is in danger, I'll take a fine few days in the slammer. You're incorrect to tell me that it's illegal. Is it illegal? Yes. But I just won't get caught? What? The cops will totally understand, and the worst will happen, well, he gets fined. What? Obviously. Please don't take the fake gun. Take at most a small pocket knife after reading the knife laws for each state you will be moving through. And if you get attacked or robbed, just either run or give the person what they want. Don't carry much cash. The reason for this is simple. If you are walking long distances with a backpack in areas that aren't designated hiking trails, police are going to treat you like a homeless vagrant, because that is what you are. If you aren't familiar with how police in places like Arizona treat homeless vagrants, I strongly suggest you research it. If you are lucky, they will believe your story about actually being a privileged person raising money for the mentally ill enough to not rough you up or leave you in jail for too long. I hope you keep proof of that story handy. Hey OP, go to a goddamn pawn shop and buy a real gun. You can get a shitty Kel-Tec for like $150, you dumb pig fuck. Muerte's mental health starts to come under scrutiny at this point. Obviously, he's been open about having gone through mental health struggles in the past. People start to theorize that the reason why this plan of his is so self-destructive is because it's on purpose. Maybe he doesn't care if he dies or gets hurt, or this is even some kind of elaborate suicide attempt. OP, I'm gonna be brutally honest with you. I don't like telling people this, but I was in your shoes. In 2011, I was suicidally depressed, and just before I tried to kill myself, I was thinking in your exact same position. I wanted to quit my job, quit school, leave everything behind. I had absolutely no experience with hiking of any kind, and I wanted to just do it guns blazing because fuck it, it's my life and a free world, and I'll just do what I please. I thought it would give me perspective on the world at large, or at least bide my time until I found something to live for. My advice to you is to not do this at all, and to just leave it as a pipe dream. More important than soul searching is being stable, and your willingness to just walk into danger with a devil-may-cry attitude speaks volumes about the fact that you are not stable, mentally or emotionally. It's good to be positive, but it can lead to a method of thinking where you choose to ignore possibilities that could very well be life-threatening because you're trying to hand-wave it with, everything will be fine. Here's what I think will happen to you, because it happened to me in the exact same way. Being alone, in peace, still disillusioned and jaded, did not magically make me better. All of that solitude only served to make me more miserable and depressed. If you do this, I believe that you will be worse off when you finish than when you start. The spiritual awakening journey is a nice concept, but if you go into it with that mindset, that you're putting off your troubles hoping they get solved along the way, you will end up even more screwed than before. It'll be jarring when you have to come back to it, and it'll make you feel totally like shit. You're probably going to ignore this post, like you have ignored many others that are telling you not to do this, but I just need to get this off my chest because I feel like our situations are so similar. Another really long, helpful post in this thread comes from a Something Awful user who says that he works as a guide. He hikes for a living as a guide. He says he spends 250 plus days out of the year hiking. So he, of course, has a ton of experience and can critique the gear choices, the plans, everything. You have to carry everything, which means everything needs to be extremely useful and necessary. You have a big Agnes tent. Can you set it up in the dark, in the wind, in the rain, in all three at once? Do you have a repair kit? Have you seam sealed it? You have a wide brim hat. Good. Ditch the umbrella. Nothing gets me more frightened than an unopened first aid kit. Open it, pull everything out. Put it back in and make sure you know where everything is. Your sleeping bag is too big and heavy for extended hiking. Lightweight small bags are expensive, but given the distance you're walking, it would be prudent. Do you have a liner for your bag? It will stop it smelling quite bad after a few weeks. Get rid of the camping towel, use a t-shirt. You don't need bath wipes, whatever the fuck they are. You don't need camp soap, just having it screams, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Morale is also something you're going to struggle with. Hiking is one of those things that sounds easy and fun in your mind, but rapidly changes once you start out. Have you ever been so incapacitated by giardia that you shit your tent because you can't physically move? Have you ever been so tired hiking that in between steps you actually fall asleep for a second? Have you ever sat in a tent in the wind and the rain howling outside, stuck by yourself miles away from the nearest human being, set up your stove to eat something warm and found that you hadn't screwed the lid on the fuel bottle properly and now you have no fuel for the next 5 days? Have you ever laid in the fetal position in a sleeping bag, tears in your eyes, wishing you were anywhere but here? I have done all of those things. And while I have come out of the other side, glad I gained the experience. They were never transcendent events that changed who I was or any bullshit like that. They were just shitty, awful situations. Take some time, do a whole bunch of extended hikes in fun places, get yourself prepared mentally and physically, get your gear sorted out, and then attempt something like this. As it stands, you are being fucking stupid. In response to this good advice, both on the mental health front and the practical camping front, Muerte disappears. He stops responding to the thread. He ignores all of this. The goons shrug and say, well, false alarm everyone. You know, I guess we talked him out of it, but he's too ashamed to admit it. He's back to eating chicken nuggets in his luxury apartment. Don't be a jerk. This guy's a survivor. He knows how to cook mac and cheese. Oh, he sure is. Because it turns out he might have been scared off of something awful, but he is still posting on Facebook. He is still planning to do this. He just doesn't want the kind of reality checks that Something Awful users are going to provide. Although, he has stuck to the altered route. He is still planning to do American Discovery Trail plus scoot down to Florida. So that's good at least. Significantly less chance of dying that way. And he has named the project Walking Like Crazy and branded himself Crazy Jake. How exactly does this raise awareness of mental health? It's got crazy in the name, so now you are aware of mental health. You turds are so mean. I just gave $50 to his Kickstarter with the promise that I will receive, quote unquote, a random item from his trip. He's on the organ donor list, so the $50 mystery prize could be pretty good. I am certain that's not how that works. But it still made me laugh. Well, this certainly blew up. I'm closing this thread. Feel free to make a new one to watch me fail. You get banned for closing threads here. Come on, baby. Finish what you started. Post pictures of your adventure. Also how busted your feet are on day 3. Like I was saying, Facebook is a platform that is much more suited to him. It's filled with his friends and family who give him nothing but relentless positive feedback on everything he does. And if Something Awful users, or in fact anyone critical, manages to make their way over there, he can just delete the comments. Continue to cultivate the illusion that this is a great plan and he's got everything figured out. Some of these supportive comments on his fundraiser read, best wishes on your journey. There are people who talk about doing something and those who do something about it. Thanks for being a doer. It is awesome that you are making a footprint for what you believe in. We look forward to hearing and reading about your journey, Crazy Jake. So proud of you. You are such an inspiration. Good luck on your hike and with your mission to raise awareness of mental health issues. Our 22-year-old son took his life because he had problems dealing with socializing. God bless and take care. Now I'm angry after reading the comments on that page. He's taking advantage of people who are struggling with the powerlessness of grief in the void left over after a loved one has died to fund his fucking absurd vacation. Fuck this guy. I hope his stroller breaks. Don't listen to the haters. I wish more folks with your income and access to parental wealth make the same responsible choice and die alone in the desert before they can procreate. No, but seriously, you are going to fucking die. This isn't a thread shit. You are going to die in the desert. Do you accept Visa? So at this point, the amount of people fantasizing about, ways he will die or get hurt it's a bit much. There are some line crossers. It gets to be just a little bit in bad taste. So the goons continue stealthily following Crazy Jake's Facebook page, which introduced me to the saying, no one touch the poop, as in no one interfere with the thing. Otherwise, he might stop. So everyone just stop interacting with him. Just watch, okay? No one touch the poop. I love it. But alas, Crazy Jake changes his Facebook group to closed. Someone asks, so now that this is private, how does that affect the status of awareness of mental health? How is anyone going to become aware of mental health if he's only talking about it in a closed Facebook group? But fear not, okay? Something Awful still has their spies inside the group. This is the makeover that he gives his baby stroller cart thing. It says, walking like crazy across America for mental health awareness. Follow me on Facebook. Hashtag I saw Crazy Jake. People are encouraged to post pictures of him and to report sightings of him on social media using the hashtag I saw Crazy Jake. Unfortunately, it's kind of a great name. I won't lie, Crazy Jake really does have a ring to it. He also shows off that he has purchased a harmonica for maximum quirky hobo vibes and some road maps. He should have packed what he could fit into a red bandana and tied it at the end of a stick. I've been inspired by the OP, so I'm going to hike across Canada to find myself. And by across Canada, I mean down to the Safeway. And by myself, I mean some stuff for lunch for the next few days. I plan on doing this because I'm sick of not having lunch and want to raise awareness for lunch and lunch-related things. Listen, don't attack the ADHD community like this. I'd bring a gun, but I'm Canadian and I'm not sure what that is. Listen though, lunch awareness It is very important. Are you aware of lunch? Have you had lunch today? It is very important to cultivate an awareness of lunch. All I'm saying. It is finally time. Crazy Jake sets out on his journey, which starts with driving from where he lives in Arizona to his aunt's house in California. He plans to leave his car there and start out on the hike in another few days. In the meantime, he fuels up at Denny's. I'm gonna raise awareness for IBS by walking 400 miles and eating/shitting in a Denny's every day. Please don't do that. The goon stalking intensifies, and they discover, it's so sad, they discover that he has been relentlessly tweeting Jimmy Kimmel and Ellen DeGeneres for weeks, trying to get them to pay attention to his harrowing journey. People are just trembling with anticipation of the beginning of the hike. They're checking the weather for the place and time he's planning to start. I'm guessing this trip ends 50% him getting arrested, then bailed out and flown to Florida by his parents. 20% serious injury, including breaks, disease, heat stroke, severe dehydration, undernourishment. 10% robbed to the point where he cannot continue. 10% just gives up. 7% stops updating social media and is lost forever. 0.001% is he actually walks to Daytona. But wait, we have intel from the Facebook. In 1 hour, I'll be headed to Point Reyes, California to start my own trip across America on the American Discovery Trail. My goal is to spread mental health awareness through the people I meet along the way and sharing their stories with all of you. What is that? You're gonna meet people on the trail and interview them about how mentally ill they are and then post it on... That's a plan. I know for me the hardest part of struggling with manic depression... I know for me the hardest part of struggling with manic depression for me... That's a that's a really good sentence. Was getting out of the house. I really hope to encourage and inspire those that struggle to get out, set a goal, and go after it, no matter how quote unquote crazy it may seem. I'm literally so inspired by now. I'm shivers down my spine with how inspired I am. The last thing I hope to show is the great country we live in. Oh, that's true. That's sure aged. It's people, places, and things. A grand tour, the nouns of America. Too often we look at the negative aspects of living in America, whether it be politicians, corruption, police brutality, racism, poverty, taxes, and so on the list goes. I want to share with you this amazing country we live in, and hopefully encourage and once again inspire people to get out and volunteer with their communities, something I have admittedly not done, but hope to do once I finish. Please share my page every once in a while to spread the word. We are only $575 away from the goal. I can't stand all the fucking comments on that page from people saying, he fought manic depression and won. I know it's just a euphemism, but it implies that anyone struggling with sad brains is a loser. Mental illness isn't a game or even a war to be fought and won. It can be an endless ordeal people face their whole life. I don't have insurance or a job, so my depression and anxiety are going untreated. So it kinda stings that this guy's attempt to raise awareness is actually making mentally ill people feel worse by implying that because I don't have all the benefits he does, I'm a loser. TLDR, fuck your walk. If you want to help someone, volunteer or use that $2,000 to buy some schmuck like me some Prozac. Day 1. He's walking. Oh goodness, he's officially walking. Crazy Jake, he's walking. This picture that he posts on the first day reveals a sign in the background that says camping by permit only, which leads people to theorize that by stealth camping, he just meant sneaking into campsites without the proper permits. I departed the Point Reyes hostel around 12:15. Soon thereafter, I reached the amazing coast and followed that for some time. Sorry, his handwriting is something. Some of the trails are uneven, and it's making it difficult with the cart. The front wheel cracked while ascending a difficult hill, and it has made the last 5 minutes or so extremely difficult. The landscape is wonderful, and I'm in great spirits. Although it is only 5:48, I am exhausted from pushing a cart with a broken wheel. Total miles today, 10. So yeah, day 1, and the cart has died. Hashtag I saw Crazy Jake's broken cart. Really though, this is the tragedy no one saw coming. R.I.P. cart. Day 2. I woke up today knowing the cart was no longer a viable option. I tried to reach a road where I could perhaps signal a ranger to pick it up, but the cart became immovable. I saved as much as I could, but I will need to lighten my load again tomorrow. He abandoned the cart and some of what it was carrying in the middle of the park, which is extremely disrespectful to the park and to the park rangers who he expects to clean up after him. You're a child. I was able to hike through some amazing woods and prairie. I keep hearing the sounds of footsteps as I walk alongside me, although I've seen no one for miles. In a way, it is like I feel like someone is alongside me. We got a literary genius on our hands. Total miles today, 15 and a half. What kind of wildlife is he likely to run into / be mauled by out there anyway? Rabid raccoons? Plague prairie dogs? Don't forget about the plague prairie dogs. We learned about those here on Strange a while ago. Woodsy the owl if he keeps dumping crap all over the trail.
Give a hoot, don't pollute, never be a dirty bird.
I hope that the original poster does not die. If he dies, I hope that his trash and waste do not damage the ecosystem. Plastic is very harmful to creatures if ingested. The American desert is an extraordinary biome. It must be conserved. His corpse will be an unexpected boon to the desert animals. The desert is inhospitable in the summertime. Food is hard to come by. The flesh will nourish the coyote or other scavengers of the carrion. This is a good thing. This is the natural cycle. Two great tastes that taste great together. Okay, you guys lost me a little bit. Quite exhausted. I am somewhere on the Molina's Ridge Trail, and it has been nothing but uphill. The topography map shows it should be a level elevation, but it's not. I just stopped to chat with some bikers, and they informed me it's nothing but uphill for some time. My left knee is aching quite a bit, but I'm trying to rest when I need it, and staying positive. Still in good spirits, even with the struggles. A few goons consult maps of the area to try and verify this claim that the maps say it should be flat. Clearly, Crazy Jake does not know how to read a topographic map, if he even has one, because all we've seen so far is road maps. Day 3. Is he still in that fucking park? He'll always be in that fucking park. I burst into tears when I reached the ranger station. It was a very long uphill hike through blinding fog. I would literally kill someone for IHOP or Waffle House right now. Breaking deranged man holds up pancake house with fake gun. Shouldn't we do something? He's actually gonna die? We're making fun of him, you know, to raise awareness. Ow. In his journal that day, Crazy Jake writes, "Today was an uphill climb all day. Started off with the Molina's Ridge Trail, followed by the coastal trail over rolling hills and blinding fog. There wasn't much to see with all the fog, which made it feel like it would never end. Temperature was in the 40s. Eventually, I was below the fog and reached Pantol Ranger Station. I plan to take a rest today, here tomorrow. Total miles today, 10 and a half. Day 4, the rest day. Crazy Jake reports that he feels really bad and just getting up to go to the bathroom hurts. He says that all he has eaten in the past 3 days was some handfuls of raisins. I demand proof that that latest post is real. I refuse to believe it. It's real. LMAO, why just a handful of raisins? I seriously do not understand. You see, because he's a picky eater, I guess? This guy is fucked. Hiking across America. Raising awareness. When asked on Facebook why he doesn't just eat some food, he says it's because he feels bad. He feels like he's going to throw up. Baby's tummy hurts. Okay? If you're gonna hike all day, you need to eat whether or not it's appealing to you. One Facebook commenter writes, "Eat slow, small amounts, but do it consistently throughout the day. Drink room temperature water. Cold will make you throw up. Lots of bananas. A good multivitamin isn't a bad idea. Smart water is a great source of electrolytes." A lot of this reads as perfectly fine advice if you're sick at home. But he's planning on living in the wilderness for months. He's not— Smart water? Smart water is not gonna save him. And then there's this guy. "You're in a high-energy endeavor, Crazy Jake. You must eat a handful of gorp every 30 minutes. Maintain House Pro Packs for lunch and dinner. No energy, no mileage. Lesson learned." Ha. I'm yelling encouragement. Rest up, but get right. When your body adjusts, you can live on raisins and rainwater. Right now, you have the Sierras in front of you, and you need power, and your mind has to be right. And it's all connected with energy. Food. Good food, not waffles. Ha! Ever see a marathon runner at Waffle House? Well, yes, of course, but they're marathon runners. It's a treat. Once you reach enlightenment, #CrazyJakeSon, you will be able to survive on nothing more than raisins, rainwater, and the essence of the universe. What the fuck is a gorp? Good old raisins and peanuts. Dude on Facebook is legit telling him to eat more raisins because that's exactly what he needs. He's gonna die unless he gets some gorp. According to Crazy Jake's journals, he traveled about 35 miles in 3 days. According to Goon calculations of where he started versus where he is now, it's more like 20 to 25. Just a reminder that his original prediction was 20 miles a day. Dude couldn't even walk a marathon at 26.2 miles in 3 days. What takes some people 3 hours, he couldn't do in 3 days, despite planning to walk 3,000 miles. Good old raisins and peanuts, I say, while a man dies 25 feet from a popular and pleasant day hiking location. To be fair, they are making fun of him pretty relentlessly. Don't let all of these people clowning on him make you think that doing something like this is actually easy and he's just uniquely unfit. That's not true. It is hard. Marathons are known to be hard, and people train months for them. I don't think I would do any better than Crazy Jake would. The difference between me and Crazy Jake is that I would describe myself as an unfit degenerate YouTuber. But you know what? At the very least, my struggles with lunch awareness have taught me to force myself to eat for the sake of my well-being, so maybe I would do better than him in that respect. Took a rest today at the Pantole Ranger Station. Campers stared at me, probably wondering why some guy was wrapped in a blanket atop the hill staring down on them. The station also has garbage cans, making it easier to lighten my pack even more. So he's just shoving his extra things in trash cans now. Someone says, I hope the harmonica made the cut. Can't wait to hit the trail tomorrow and hopefully reach the Golden Gate Bridge. Total miles today, 0. Gorp is fucking gross. If you're doing a long hike, Snickers bars are where it's at. Please don't gorp shame. Day 5. Crazy Jake, #gives up. Please read. Well, today is possibly one of the most disappointing days of my life. I woke up at 7 a.m., ready to hit the trail, and make an 8-mile trek to the Golden Gate Bridge. I walked down to the bathroom to freshen up, and I just felt off balance. I figured I had a bad night's sleep or something, and the next thing I know, the entire left side of my body went limp, and I fainted on the steps. Some hikers nearby saw me and said I looked awful, and helped to get me an Uber ride back to my aunt's. For the first time in 4 days, I was able to look at my body, and it isn't good. My hips are literally black and blue, and I'm constantly lightheaded. I have other issues that aren't as PG as well. Oh, I bet he's pooping so weird from all those raisins. After having time to think about it, once I lost my cart, my mission was kind of lost. No longer would people stop and talk to me or take interest in what I was doing. To them, I was just another hiker. Maybe it's best to take a more direct approach to helping people. I don't plan to stop hiking or in my goal of raising awareness and money for mental health. What the last 5 days have taught me is invaluable, and I'm going to start treating my body right, and I really want to take a little time off every year to do section hikes. Words can't describe how awful I feel right now. I'm going to start my own foundation that shows people who struggle the joys of camping and how it can refresh the human spirit. Oh, his spirit seems really refreshed right now. Please do not leave negative comments. I've had a very emotional and exhausting day as it is. Once again, I'm sorry for letting you all down. I'm not giving up though. Ew, it's genuinely kind of tragic. Oh, yikes. Forum 1, hopes and dreams 0. We did it, everyone. And that's how it ends. The goon who walked up a hill and came down in an Uber. It seems everyone seems to have the impression that I think it's going to be a stroll in the park. It turned out to literally be a walk in the park. Good job on not dying, OP. You know what? That is the silver lining. What a fucking turd. I'm impressed he managed to fail earlier than almost everyone's predictions. People specifically bring up the stories of guys who got significantly further than Crazy Jake with less than 2 legs. I want to know how Hobo Nick is taking this. Oh yes, of course, Crazy Jake's icon. His inspiration. Well, he doesn't seem to be too bothered, to be honest. Everyone is so busy trying to show how cool they are. Here's my cool. Just sat in this corner for 2 hours meditating. The Gorp memes are flowing. I have so many thoughts and plans right now. One thing I need is someone who is willing to help me with nutrition. If you feel you know a lot and are willing to help me get into some kind of routine, please message me so we can discuss. Someone please feed this boy a vegetable. He needs it so bad. Sorry, haven't read this thread since it was posted. What's happening? Is the OP dead yet? We're all dead. Up next, Crazy Jake is still on his way to Florida. Driving. Eventually he's gonna get there because his engine has overheated in Arizona. Like I said, only 2,575 miles to go. Gonna be a long trip. Oh, Crazy Jake. Those posts/photos are from Death Valley, by the way. That's where his car is broken down. So all of the die in the desert votes are still in play. Remember back at the beginning, like at the very beginning, when he was still posting on something awful and he just had to drop that he lived in an overpriced apartment and drove a BMW? Well, the way that he presented that, it felt like it was made to lead people to believe that this was like a new, nice car. It's not. It's an old, used car, probably not a very well-maintained one. And apparently, according to some car guys who chime in the thread, BMWs have infamously bad cooling systems. And a car like his was basically guaranteed to overheat if he was blasting the AC while driving through Death Valley, which is exactly what he was doing. Despite the fact that this should have been basic information that he knew about his shitty car. The burning question is, did he spray paint his new hashtag across the side of his car, or is he just some other forgettable motorist on the road? So he failed at walking. Now he's failing at driving. Clearly the next course is to take the mighty dirigible. So you're totally done walking? No, Matt. But I am headed to Florida. I'm confused. I thought you were taking a few days to rest. No, I'll message you later. Dealing with an overheated car in Death Valley right now. I missed something here. I thought you were walking? Why are you in a car? Oh my god, are the Facebook idiots turning on him? That's dark if the Facebook idiots are even turning on him. But please explain why you were driving a car and not walking. Once I lost my cart, the goal was lost. I want to reach people in a more effective way. And it just can't be done without a sign duct taped to a baby stroller that I'm dragging through the woods. It just can't, that's the only way to do it. That's the only way that I can do activism for mental health. So there's a scamming backstory? Let me explain. So there's a forum called Something Awful Mart where people post things for sale and you can buy them and you are fully responsible for what does or does not show up at your door if you try and buy something on here. The goons dig up a thread on there featuring a banned account that was using Crazy Jake's email address to receive payments, so it's him. Apparently he used to have a side hustle selling designer shoes and sunglasses on Something Awful Mart, and when he was exposed for selling knockoffs as the authentic thing, he basically doubled down and said, yeah, well, I think they're fake, but I think they look good, so you should pay my original asking price anyway. So people are starting to think that he might have a pattern of scamming people, or at the very least a pattern of convincing people on the internet to give him money for dubious reasons. It is speculation. It is me speculating, but I do think it's probable that the charity thing was always an angle to make money. Compare Crazy Jake to Hobo Nick. Hobo Nick had no cause. He was just doing this because he wanted to. But you don't really have a case to convince people to give you money for that. Hence, raising awareness for mental health illness, just in general. They start to get curious about what's going on with the almost $3,000 that he raised. Everyone will be getting their money back from the fundraiser, just an FYI. Not only do I feel it's the right thing, but so does whoever reported me. Thank you to everyone, though. I'll never forget what we accomplished. Did somebody touch the poop? It appears that somebody probably did touch the poop. Anyway, Crazy Jake gets his car fixed. The entire cooling system did indeed have to be replaced, as well as some miscellaneous other repairs. But he's gonna pay it off. He's gonna go back to school. He's gonna start a foundation. He's got stuff planned. He's doing stuff. I do not plan on giving up my walk. I learned many things on my 5-day trip on what I did wrong and right. So he wants to learn and reattempt it at some point because it's still his dream. And that's cool because, it's something that is possible to do and possible to train for. There's no reason why he can't work towards doing that in the long run. And in this moment, I almost sort of find myself rooting for Crazy Jake to get it together and achieve his dream one day. And then, yeah, he posts a picture of a bunch of cash he just made working for his dad's business in Florida because he's just so fun to be around. $330, I bet you all feel silly for making fun of Crazy Jake now. He's a winner. Something Awful user Atomic Thumbs, who lives in the area that Crazy Jake was trying to hike, he attempts to retrace the route from his first day and locate the corpse of the cart. He's stocked up on Gorp, don't worry, so he doesn't die out there. He posts a bunch of photos, which are great, and I have probably been using them throughout this video already because I think they give us a great idea visually of what Crazy Jake was experiencing. However, he unfortunately does not locate the cart. Imagine if he had, that would have been such an insane twist at the end of this. But no, I love that people from the forum were dedicated enough that someone actually went out there and physically looked for the cart. Now that Crazy Jake's journey has come to an end, he has arrived in Florida, the cart is lost forever, it's done, no more loose ends. The thread is finally closed. It's been 10 years since then, almost 11, I guess. Yeah, in 2026 it'll be 11 years. And nothing has been heard from him since, so we don't know. Is he still out there? Did he ever achieve his crazy dream? My instinct, my bet would be on? No, probably not. But who knows, really? Maybe he's out there right now, braving the elements with his gorp and his fake gun against the world. That is the tale of Crazy Jake's walk across America, which is to say, having a bad hike in a park for 5 days. There's some genuine tragedy there. I think there are some genuine lessons, you know, about listening to your body, treating your body well, trying to make the best decisions for yourself, and listening to advice even when you're going through it mentally. But, you know, I gotta say it, I am feeling rather aware. And I suppose I only have Crazy Jake to thank for that. So thank you, Crazy Jake. And thank you all for watching this video, for making it to the end of this tale with me, and I will see you in another one very soon.